initiatives require constant communication for public buy-in, input, and feedback in the spirit of a people-centered delivery of our country's development agenda. I have no doubt whatsoever that well-crafted public-private partnership projects are essential for the realization of strategic public sector infrastructure development projects and will cushion our country from incurring unsustainable debt for financing our country. As we pursue Kenya's economic transformation and strengthen the bonds of our national unity, now is the time to ask every citizen to introspect on their contribution towards the actualization of the Kenya we all want to live in. The values of honesty and work, patriotism, family, and all other values of our civilization, faithfully transmitted through generations, makes it possible for us to transform this country into a more inclusive, equitable, and cohesive nation in which every citizen is able to live free from fear and want. A Kenya where every citizen has a realistic opportunity to attain good health, wealth, and safety. Our ambitious ideal for a new Kenya will be actualized by sacrifice, hard work, pulling together, eschewing the blame game, and loving Kenya more than our subnational affiliations. It is possible to converge our diverse subnational interests into broad collective national interest as the surest way of realizing Kenya's viability as a solid, respected, competitive, evolved, modern, democratic, plural society able to assert itself in the world for centuries to come. Only a country of opportunity that Kenya is can cause the little village of Irunduni, tucked in the outskirts of the unassuming hamlet of Mukodini in semi-arid Tharaka to produce the country's deputy president. I grew up in a competitive environment, learned to manage scarce resources in a large family of 9 siblings, raised by peasant parents, and introduced to the values of respect for others and respect for authority, the love for God, and the love for country, considering other people's needs before my own needs. These values would later be found out through my education journey in the schools and the universities I would attend later in life. That it has been possible for me to come this far confirms that in this country there is no reason anymore why a child born in Moyale, Loitoto, Nyahururu, Lodwar, Nansiyongo, Malindi, Ugenya, Kadonzweni, Elwak, Kibilili, Lungalunga, Marara, or anywhere else within this great country cannot aspire to rise to any of us. I am truly blessed to be a son of Kenya. May God bless and protect our dear country, homeland, the Republic of Kenya. May we remain one nation of one people, united by our emblems, the map, the flag, and the national anthem of Kenya. Thank you and God bless you. Take maximum 2, please.
Thank you, Excellency. My name is Melito Oletenkes for Citizen TV. My question is, you are stepping into this new role at a time when counties have not had a disbursement of funds for about 4 months, and it is causing a cash crunch there. And now that you're going to also be the chair of IPEC, how do you tend to accelerate this and ensure that services in the counties roll as they should be?
Sure.
My name is Sidney Chazima. My question goes to what you've mentioned about national interests. And recently, while performing your duties as the Deputy President, you spoke before the judiciary at the 12 years anniversary for the Supreme Court. And you mentioned that there needs to be a place where the courts consider the national interest as opposed to the public interest. Someone may misconstrue this as the executive trying to exert its pressure on the courts. What would you make of this?
Thank you. These are very good questions. I would like to respond to them as follows. It is true there is a bit of cash disbursement delay for counties, which is unfortunate. But I think the context of our situation is that this country in the last 2 years have come from a very difficult macroeconomic situation. And it has taken 2 years of hard work under the leadership of President William Ruto to tackle the macroeconomic stability of the country, stabilize the shilling, stabilize essential food prices, prices of essential commodities, including fuel, and so forth and so on. The first time this month, inflation is at 2.7%, the lowest in 17 years. The last time the inflation was at that level was in 2007, just before the post-election ban, at the peak of President Kibaki's best economic situation. And therefore, the heavy lifting that the country has had to do is now behind us. We can only do better. I am going to convene as soon as possible the consultative forum under the auspices of IPEC, and I believe the short-term issue around disbursements should be tackled in a more sustainable manner, so that we don't just release what is outstanding, but we find mechanisms of ensuring that we don't have similar delays in the days ahead. So that is something that I will insist on. Just the way we have tackled other issues and economic challenges, we're going to tackle the disbursement process properly, and that is what the Constitution requires, that the national government must ensure that counties receive the funds within the required time. Secondly, and lastly, I've been asked to comment about the comment I made at the Judges Conference. And at the Judges Conference, I'd say, first and foremost, that conference was not a meeting between the executive and the judiciary. It was a conference for the court to introspect and reflect on how the judiciary has performed, especially the Supreme Court, in shaping the jurisprudence of our country and interpreting our constitution. And therefore, it was an opportunity to look at the successes, challenges, what has been done correctly, and what perhaps is to be improved. It's in that context that I gave the views from where I sit, based on my legal background. I made the remark that I believe the Supreme Court of Kenya has done a fantastic job in interpreting the Constitution. For 12 years, what the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya has done is equivalent to what some Supreme Courts have done in 50 years. So we are very proud that our institutions are not only that they are on a trajectory of fast maturity. At that point, because it was a moment for introspection, I said, the jurisprudence that the court has given us about public interest is very refreshing to work. And then I remarked, going forward, as the Supreme Court consolidates its own jurisprudence and even beyond public interest, whether our constitution allows our constitution allows the court to distill existential values of the state. And I told at the meeting that those existential values are found in two places. One in chapter 1, which is the foundation chapter, that establishes our country, defines what Kenya is, the map, the territory, the coordinates, and the fundamental principles including evolution. And then, chapter 14 on national security, Article 238 in particular, contains some elements of what one would call existential and primordial elements of the existence of Kenya. That Article 238 says that there are certain core interests of Kenya that must be protected. And that's why the organs of national security are established, to make sure that Kenya does not disappear. It survives. Territorial sovereignty of Kenya. That's why our KDF will do whatever it takes to make sure that other nations, enemies of Kenya, don't overrun it. The territorial integrity of Kenya, that no foreign country can violate our airspace, our land, or our sea space. And then it goes on to discuss a few other extensions, very, very critical foundational interest of the nation. And so what I was asking, I say maybe the court needs to think whether we can have a hierarchy of national interest. The general public interest on everything else, and very basic and existential interest on which the survival of the nation rests. Because, for example, when we've had, for example, challenges in allowing the people of Kenya to exercise their rights, which are protected in the Constitution, we have seen, for example, that right, for example, will also be balanced in the need to protect the country and the constitutional institutions. Because we saw attempts to violate Chief Justice's chambers by people who are expressing their rights, which is correct. But you see, you destroy the emblems that makes the state to exist, burn down parliament. You know, those are extreme measures. And all what I say, just to be brief, I was not prescribing. I was just asking the judges to provide leadership, as is their mandate in the Constitution, to tell us whether there is a hierarchy of interest. Because the other commercial issues, the public interest is easily discernible. But sometimes there could be a conflict between what is popular, or what the public is saying, and the existence of the state. And I provided evidence at chapter 1 of the Constitution, which is the foundation principle, and the Article 238 that tells our organs of national security to protect the borders of Kenya, to protect the existence of Kenya and its institutions. That balance should help us to it. I know I've spoken a lot of English, but that's what it is. I wish you well. It is good to see you. We are going to have regular interactions. But I like what, you know, the other job was a bit constraining because of the operational support that required me to be where action was taking place in terms of defending the country's vital interests of homeland security. But with the new law, I'll be much more available. We are open to the input of the people of Kenya. We are open to even positive criticism of the media, from civil society, so that we can more converge our various views and opinions on how we can build a stable, solid democracy called Kenya. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
kuchunga watu wake. Sasa hii unaona Gachuri mahali hapa